In January 2023, the average daily player count for Overwatch 2 was roughly 2,124,797. If you ask me, that's a pretty good start to a year, especially considering the fact that Overwatch and Blizzard have been in more controversy than most games and companies out there. But some of the most recent statistics have shown that the daily average player count for the month of May is roughly 900,000. That isn't bad by my standards, but Blizzard might beg to differ. That's not where it ends though. With the recent canceling of the somewhat interesting and very optimistic looking Overwatch 2 PVE or story mode, a lot of other problems and disappointments were brought to the light. With the game being out for roughly half a year now, a lot of the problems and poorly designed features and systems in Overwatch 2 have now been becoming more and more noticeable. It's as if Widowmaker's infrasight has revealed all of Blizzard's failings. And as of roughly a month ago, there's been a dark cloud surrounding the game now, tainting everything we see. Previous hardcore players and streamers are starting to get fed up with Blizzard's constant poor designs. From the glory days of 2016 and into 17, the drying out and rise again of Overwatch 2, tripling its previous highest player count to its second death, this all begs the question, what happened and what went wrong? Don't forget to subscribe. Now I'm pretty sure you already know the history behind Overwatch, or at least the basics, so I'll make this part quick. May 17th, 2016, we got OW. Not long after that, the game got super popular. Though it was released roughly halfway through the year, it was still in the top 5 most streamed games in 2016, and in 2017, 8th place with 22.21 million hours of watch time. It pretty quickly established itself as a game that wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. The decently sized company behind the game with funds and money to keep it going with updates, patches, seasons, and most important of all, new heroes, this only further solidified the fact that Overwatch was staying. Until BlizzCon of 2019 when they announced an Overwatch sequel. Now this was a very unique choice. Overwatch was different. There wasn't a lot of other games like it when it was released, but over the years it became a very saturated environment, with Overwatch roughly in the lead. All the other games similar to Overwatch would get a player base and keep them playing and growing with updates that included new unlockables, new level-based progressive systems, and new characters. With the announcement of a sequel, well, the comments were mixed. TJ83 comments, "Yep, free to play, get ready for the game to become more of an online store than an actual game." I personally believe TJ had a time machine that explains exactly how they were to precisely predict the future, but hey. I'm a Cat is concerned about something else. "Hope they've got a plan to deal with cheaters, cause if they think their system will hold up in a free-to-play, they won't." Maggie the Mage is absolutely stunned by an Overwatch announcement. "Impossible. Everyone knows Overwatch 2 isn't real." Hold on one second, I'm so sorry. "Hey man, how are things?" "Guh, I'm doing fine, I guess." That's good to hear. Now I'm kind of in the middle of something here. Do you have something specific you want to talk about? "Guh, yup, sure. I've been looking at your most used apps on your laptop, and I noticed it isn't Goofy's Funhouse." I mean, at least your eyes are still working. "What do you have to say for yourself?" "Well, I'm sorry." "That's not good enough." Whoa, that's still you, Goofy? "You've got 6 hours to make your restitution. Don't be late." What's happening? Just subscribe. So while some people were excited, others were concerned or even shocked. Once again, the making of an entire sequel for a team-based multiplayer game is a new idea. But not even half a year later, Blizzard announced that the original game wasn't going to be getting any new heroes until the sequel was out. No release date was ever mentioned for this fabled Overwatch 2. And this started the phase of Overwatch just drying out. When it was at its peak, Blizzard took the game to a new direction and in the process let it die out. This of course put Blizzard in a very sticky situation because now nobody's playing the original game, will people play the sequel? For the next several years, Overwatch just burned out. It became a game that we all played at some point, but that was like a while ago. You know, we're playing different things now, like Fortnite. Battle Royales came in and shook the world with the amount of attention and fame they were getting. Through those years of Overwatch just fading away, things took a turn for the worst. Jeff Kaplan, the guy that led Overwatch to its glory days, left Blizzard, and not long after, Aaron Keller took his place, and Blizzard, or Activision Blizzard, took a nice swan dive off a cliff with the sexual harassment charges. Then there was the Overwatch 2 news, that it was going to be free to play with a PvE story mode on the side, 5v5, battle pass system focused, and no CC and no loot boxes. This, of course, only did an amazing job at splitting and dividing the fanbase even further. And after that fiasco, all was somewhat still. Though we didn't get any more crazy news on Overwatch 2, we did get a release date. It was later delayed until much later, and this process would continue several times over and over and over again until October 4th, 2022. We got it. It was released and it was exciting. And most of you who tried to play Overwatch 2 for like the first week will probably recognize this. Yep, the servers made everything and anything a pain up the poop chute, but not terribly long after, it was fixed up and we were off into this new and interesting game. Was Overwatch back? Well, getting 25 million players in only 10 days with the server problems, I think it's safe to say that it was back. Whether it was better than Overwatch 1 was soon to be determined with time. A lot of people had problems with the game, but for the most part, people were playing and enjoying their time. Some of the more controversial decisions made, like 5v5 or a battle pass system, seemed to be turning out well. Not long after the release, we got another season with a new character. Now this was awesome. With the newly released free-to-play Overwatch ruling the world, PvE on its way soon, and new characters, it felt as if things were actually turning out well. Not long after Overwatch 2 hit its peak, the numbers started fading away pretty quickly. And that right there begs the question, what the heck happened? To be honest, though some of the changes were big, like no CC or 5v5, the game was still generally the same. A lot of people were disappointed that it took Blizzard the killing of one of their most popular games, buttloads of money, the reputation of their company, and years just to do what Riot Games could and does with Valorant in 3 months with a single patch. And then, roughly halfway through the month of May in 2023, Blizzard announced that the long-awaited Overwatch PVE story mode was cancelled. Now this was big. I mentioned in the introduction that it's almost as if there's some kind of dark cloud or mist surrounding the game, tainting it. It was about this time that the lack of any level-based progressive systems, except for the battle pass, became more and more apparent. We naturally need something to grind for in a game. When we run out of stuff to do or play for, we lose interest. This, of course, saw a lot of people leave. Combine this with the canceling of the PvE, and now you're left with just another free-to-play, battle pass-focused, online multiplayer game, except there's a super greedy company behind it. The overall design of the game works in a way where you're punished for not buying and get average stuff for buying, but you're rewarded, just greed. Simply put, Blizzard had a lot going for it, but took a turn in their glory that nobody else had even tried. And there's a reason that nobody makes an entire sequel to a multiplayer game instead of just continuing to update and add on to it. Though it isn't where it was at its peak, Apex Legends has done a really good job at maintaining a stable player base by adding new and fresh and unique features that none of the other BRs out there are adding. On top of that, the fabled Overwatch sequel we got just turned out to be a series of major compromises and letdowns, all because Blizzard got a little greedy. The Battle Pass can take up to 49 hours of playtime just to get to level 50, but you can always buy it. Now you have to unlock the in-game currency via the Battle Pass, or buy up. We're continually punished for not buying. On top of that, Blizzard over the course of the years has done a great job at dividing up its audience, thus sabotaging the game, through removing our second tank, restricting the access to unlockables via the Battle Pass, and even changing our favorite characters. They had something great, took it down a path that nobody uses, and in the process stripped out everything that made this game different and special, and designing this game to make them as much money as possible. Now I understand that there has to be changes when converting from a pay-to-play to a free-to-play, but just check out Apex Legends. They've been doing this for a while now, and they're really good at it. So we find ourselves in an interesting situation. Where will Blizzard take this game now? What is the future of Overwatch 2? Is it destined to be that game we all played at some point a while ago, but we're busy now playing other things? Next up is the current state of Paladins, because if you think Paladins wasn't affected by this whole Overwatch 2 thing, then you're wrong. I love you guys, I hope you have a great rest of the day, and remember, life is short, play great games. If I had a time machine, one of the first places I would travel to would be the early days of Overwatch, along with many other places. Dude, you're gonna be famous. Yup. There was something magical about those times, or at least when I started playing it in 2020, I know. Starting my long journey to become the greatest Doomfist player in the world.